Well, Robert Heffernan with EndoTech. And this is a blockchain, not blockchain. We'll talk blockchain. This is Market Vitals. We'll talk market assets along with blockchain assets. Please follow us at Twitter at EndoTech_IO, and I am at HFR from the floor. Currently in the Matrix, everything's digital, man. We have a mouse, and if you can do this, you can trade. In fact, you're a trader. You don't even know it. That's all you got to do. Let's do the rounds. Doing the rounds, my chance to talk about a tweet, a headline, something going on in asset trading and valuation. This is a weekend edition. Cryptos never sleep. They trade 24/7, 365 days a year. So we're going to start out talking a little bit of crypto. And I talked about this on Friday, Binance's new stablecoin. And they did announce that they will be doing it versus the British pound, the pound sterling, one of the oldest, greatest currencies on the planet. And their pivot here is that they're not going to try to take on Tether and the U.S. dollar stable coin that Tether represents, capturing about 98% of that stable coin market. They're going to pivot here and issue stable coin versus the pound, and then talk of also the euro and the Japanese yen, giving great flexibility to people entering the crypto space to either hold proxy of that currency, and therefore being able to put risk on and risk off in the blockchain asset class. I think it's fantastic. But Binance has had their troubles with their platform, and they were down again on Friday. But this is for sure a good pivot for them. So congratulations to Binance. Anyway, we're going to talk price discovery around crypto here in a second because they are still trading. But before we do that, about fiat assets. And after the market, I believe this came out after the market closed, our fearless leader, El Trumpetente, am pleased to inform that they've reached an agreement with Mexico on immigration. And the NAFTA reboot or redeal has already been negotiated and done, and is just sitting in the Democratic-controlled House of Representatives, where I assume they don't mind kicking that can down the road until the election. But this is a very big deal because the tariffs are coming off on agricultural products, and it's just a big deal. All right, I expect the hog market, which I trade, to be El Fuego on Monday. But we still have the weekend here, and I think this will reverberate into the equity market Sunday night. And again, we have an incredible dynamic going on here in assets on the fiat side, with many assets pricing in a recession. Many of the traditional trading methodologies, i.e. inverted yield curve, now for more than 10 days, pointing to a substantial recession. Yet the stock market was just a one-way freight train to the upside last week. Is it by the rumor sell the fact? I don't know. But something certainly has to change. I don't see how gold can go to, seemingly on its way to $1,400, bonds on the moon, and the stock market on the moon, along with, crude taking a dump. Although they did, all I'm saying is something's got to change here. All right, these things have to revert back to traditional. Actually, they don't have to. They can stay disjointed a lot longer than you can stay solvent if you're trading. Especially if you're trading leverage. So I just wanted to point it out. El Trumpetente making good and negotiating hard with Mexico to try to curb the migrant situation. And you hear so many sides of this story, but I just saw another bunch of stories about migrants from the Congo getting to Mexico and then coming through the southern border. I mean, Mexico has to lock down on their immigration. And it looks like that's what he's succeeded in doing. Anyway, let's take the vitals and just talk price discovery briefly here on the weekend. Taking the vitals, my chance to talk about actual price discovery. And since cryptos are the only thing trading right now, let's start it off. And Bitcoin now, they had a nice reversal yesterday. And I got to tell you, though, I knew that the weekend was going to tell the story here longer term. Bitcoin right now trading 78.40 at Bitfinex, fully back in a lower momentum on the daily. It's going to ping, or it looks like it wants to retest 77.76. That's lower momentum on the weekly. More importantly here, though, that you need to know, and we'll talk about this tomorrow night on the weekly segment of Blockchain Vitals, is that if they just stay sideways here, they don't even have to close the week below 1776 because of the slope of that standard deviation line, and that we've moved sideways here now for several weeks. Although we have made some higher highs, in general, the price action is sideways. We're going to open out of up momentum on that weekly if we can't recapture nearly 8,000. So between the rest of today and Sunday's trade, if you are a long-term Bitcoin bull, you have to be leery that we could be giving some of this back, coupled with the fairly good doji that we put in 2 weeks ago. Is that 2 weeks ago or just... Wrong one. There it is. It was just last week. So this week, now confirming sort of that doji as we have and again, we got until tomorrow night before this is all said and done. But it generally isn't looking so good. They really need to lift their head here. If they close them anywhere around here where they're trading 78.37, and they'll open Sunday night out of up momentum. And then you got some room here. 6,081 is that weekly center line or moving average. Next week, I imagine that'll come in somewhere around 6,300, somewhere in that area. But percentage-wise, it's a fairly big, it's a lot of price discovery available. And then the monthly moving average is down at 561, just to give you an idea of the potentialities baked into this chart because of the run that we've had over the last several months here as we've taken them basically from, the $3,000 area to the 9 handle. So a lot of room to get back, and they can still be good long term, right? But I kind of tend to doubt that we have the moonshot at this point that we did in 2017. I think people have learned their lessons. I think people that are participating in the market and are receiving Bitcoin for goods and services, I think the miners that are mining, they have real asset costs, fiat asset costs, and I think they'll be much more cognizant of those facts. And so what I'm saying is that activity, there's a natural seller in the market. And coupled with the fact that, you need to mind the mo on the shorter time frames, the daily, the weekly, the monthly, please mind the mo. Anyway, that's what I'm seeing. And S&Ps, let's bring that up for Monday's trade. Fully looking, they closed up in the 28.7 handle. So fully an up mo on the daily. 29.06 will be the up mo collar on the daily Monday in the SPOOs. And then look at how longer term here. Again, I can't begin to tell you what's going to happen because it seems so disjointed. But for me, now lots of room. Weekly up mo it comes in that same area as that daily collar, 29.08. Actually, no, that's 100 higher. No, 29.08 and 29.06 for sure. So that's going to get physical there. And then above there, we got room to the 3 handle on both the weekly and the monthly. Fresh highs available from a standard deviation, a momentum modeling basis. And man, oh man, will that, as if the shorts aren't squeezed enough, if they take these things into up mo on the weekly above that 29.08 level, they squeeze anybody that's short from anywhere, basically, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, that's what I'm seeing. Please tune in tomorrow night for Blockchain Vitals, a weekly segment, and I will go over how those weekly charts have rolled and evolved. Right now, though, in the SPOOs, that's the level you need to keep an eye on from a weekly standpoint. 29.08, weekly up momentum in the SPOOs, all right? Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow night, Sunday night, Monday morning in Asia for a Blockchain Vitals weekly segment. Thank you.